Welcome to RogueTech. So we're going to go take a look at this game. I'm calling this zero episode because we're not going to actually play RogueTech. If you're looking for that, next episode. I'm going to talk about the install and setup for this game so that we're going to go through everything and getting this thing up and running. RogueTech is a pretty significant modification to the BattleTech game. It is a lot of fun. It is brutal. It has no qualms, kicking your ass and sending you home in a casket. It is also exceedingly complicated. Not only that, but the install, where greatly simplified from earlier months of RogueTech, is still kind of complicated and can cause problems. And so I'm going to walk you through that install and how you get there with all of that. First and foremost is you're going to have to worry about your installs here. Let's go over here to finding it. If you go into Google and you type in Nexus, RogueTech Nexus, you'll get this list. And the first thing is the Nexus mods. You go into the Nexus mods community here. And when you come down, you will see this. I just scrolled down a little bit. You'll see description, files, images, things you're in, articles. You can see what a cleared install. You can see stuff here. But if you look at description, this will tell you a few things. First of all, it'll talk to you about where the RogueTech wiki is, also that you're going to need this the community asset bundle, but primarily what you're going to need to do is if you come down here, you'll see that there's installs and checking for updates. I would suggest on a fairly frequent basis, for me, every time I go to do a recording of RogueTech, I check this stuff first to see if there's some kind of an update. You can do that there. You can also look here in files. And here's where you get the RogueTech core file, and you can see what date the last one was uploaded, and you can do the manual download here to download it. And notice in here it says a few things. One, requires a clean install. What does that mean? There's an option when you do the install of RogueTech for a clean install, and they're just saying here you need to click that button to do the clean install. We'll talk about that when we get there. Also requires BattleTech game version 1.6.2. BattleTech is on 1.7, so we're going to talk about how we get to that. We also need a community asset bundle, and this is only just saying that the saves for RogueTech are only compatible with Project B. So here's another thing. If you keep updated with this, you will occasionally hit updates that break save games. This thing is constantly moving. It's effectively a beta, so you should not expect that you can keep up with all the updates and play through an entire campaign necessarily. I ended up getting restarted a few times when I was doing the recordings the last time. So if you click on this manual download it into your download file or wherever that might be. When you do that, we'll talk about how we're going to get to the asset bundles next. Now that you've got that downloaded, you've put that into a download file folder like here. And you can see for me, I've put it in here into RogueTech. So there is my file right there. Next, I'm going to go into Steam. I'm going to look at BattleTech. I'm going to right-click that. I'm going to go to Properties. I'm going to take those properties right there. I'm going to look at Updates and Local Files. So let's see. Where's my... Now here we go. Betas. Go over to Betas. Click the drop-down. And if you do opt out of all betas, you'll get the most current version, which is 1.7. We don't want that. We want 1.62, so click 1.62. And then when you close that, down here, it'll tell you if you've got to do the download or not. It will download the files for you. Okay. One of the other things you can do once you have this, should you ever need to, is to do verifies. So you can go under Properties, click on Local Files, verify integrity of game files. This will reset your 1.6.2 or whatever version you have loaded to ensure that all the files are correct. Don't do that after you've done the mod. If you do that, you have to reinstall the mod again. All right, so now we've got BattleTech 1.6.2 installed. We've got our main game installed. Next thing we're going to do is if we go into RogueTech, we can click on this. This is going to take us where we want to be. You will get a thing, but you might get one of those. You click yes. You're going to get one of these. Now you're going to go say, yes, I want to do an install. You're going to click next. I accept. Next. Take the place wherever your file folder is. It should auto-detect it. Click Next. Then you can go through here and do custom changes. I'm setting up for my gameplay that all the planets will have whatever skulls they have. That's going to force me to move from planet to planet to find ever-increasing missions, or I could go back and do some easier missions somewhere. I'm going to randomize my battle spawns. I'm going to flick DLC on. Make sure if you don't have any of these, you don't select them. So if you don't have Flashpoint and Urban Warfare, unselect these. But if you have them, go ahead and pick them up. You can also do all of the area units, and these are just various mechs that can pop in from different ages. I like doing that. I like including additional content, so I included the Arano Restoration storyline as a flashpoint. Also included Looted Clan Mechs by Lydia Licto. Last, let's see, emblems I put in there, some FX options, special effects here. And then down here I did quality of life. I said that this is a skip intro. There used to be a RogueTech intro, and I really like that. I think this skips just the initial intro for the game. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next. Here you have additional tasks. If this is your first time loading this stuff up, click First Time for installing ModTech. After that, it should always be patched ModTech. In addition to that, personally, I would say select this Clean Previous Install. Always do that. Here it says Clean Install. That's what they're saying is you click this option here. It's going to remove some folders for you and clean things up. It will not delete campaigns. So if you've got a career going and you're worried about it wiping out your career, it won't. And I'll show you that when we get there. So then you can kind of click Next. It'll tell you all this. You do install. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the install again on top of my previous install, so that you can kind of see this. And what I think it goes fairly quickly, so we can do that really quick. So one of the things that we'll do, you remember I needed to install a community asset bundle with this and a few other things. Well, nicely enough, this setup at the end will automatically direct you to those things. So you install this core version first, and then you will install the asset bundle second. After that, you might have some additional patches you might be directed to do, and I will show you a couple of those for this current version. I am currently recording this on October 17th, 2019, so this process is very specific to this particular build, but you can see we've just finished the install. It didn't take too long. It says here's the wiki, the subreddit, the Discord, and the asset bundle. So if you click just yes, it opens up all that stuff for you. Okay? One of the first things we'll do is we'll go over here to this asset bundle, right here.
Citizens of the inner sphere, by now, the tides of the Blessed Order have washed over numerous worlds and systems. They have seen the light.
That's kind of new.
Do not fear for them.
You can accept the invite into RogueTech.
They now know the peace, prosperity,
go ahead and close that.
Of the Master.
Here's some more word of Blake. We'll close that there. That's the RogueTech Wikipedia, so we'll close that. This is the Reddit, so if you want to get some additional help, we can do that. But I'm going to close those at the moment. Save those as you wish. But here's the asset bundle. Here, click under Files, and there's the asset bundle. If you click on the manual download, you'll get this file into your directory, and it looks like this. Unpack it, unzip it, however you want, and then you'll end up with this community bundle. Click the bundle, double-click the application. You will get another one of those wonderful user account things. Say yes. Here's the install. Click Next. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Again, I'm installing right over my old install for demonstration purposes here. And click Next. So I've done the core install. Now I'm doing the cab install. Okay, that order. I have in the past gotten things a little bit out of order, but as long as you've got the cab after the core, you're going to be fine. If you mess this up anywhere, you could just go back, verify your files for BattleTech in Steam, apply the core, apply the cab. At any point in time you think you've screwed up your install somewhere, you can go back, verify your files, install the core, install the cab. Okay. Worst case scenario, you might have to go in there and delete one directory, and I can show you where that is, but that shouldn't be a requirement. So this is all going to install into my RogueTech directory. My RogueTech directory, which is over here, I'm going to show you this. Underneath whatever drive you've put it, you'll find Steam. Down here you'll find Steam Apps, Common. These are all the things that come from Steam that you have currently installed on your computer, and then BattleTech. And then so in here is where you're going to be putting all of your stuff. And then underneath mods is where you see all the RogueTech stuff getting installed. See, it's all down in here. Look at all the different installs that are here. They're everywhere. Okay, so now that we've got that going, we've got the install going in the background. Where is my install? There it is. So you can see it's about halfway through. We're going to let it finish. While this is finishing, you might find sometimes that something isn't quite right with the way things are running, and you want to seek some help. Well, if you want to seek help, you remember that Discord we saw? You can go into Discord. Discord is where you're going to find all the support. You will not find support on this place here. For example, if you come in here, you go into the forums, it will tell you that they are not going to take care of you. Oh, this is the asset bundle. Hold on. Let's go back to BattleTech or RogueTech. Is that it? There it is. So if I go into the forums, this is not where they want you to post bugs. Okay? Bug reports here. Hey, look, there's a place for bug reports. Don't do it. All right. All they're going to show you here is this is where you get to talk to people about stuff. You can say, hey, how do I get RogueTech to use my mechs to, do whatever. Instead, you will want to use your Discord. And underneath your Discord, you'll be invited to RogueTech. And in here, you can open up things for known issues. And if you come down here into support, look through here first to see if you can find any known issues. If there are some, they will give you some direction on what to do. And in this particular case, they are working on the next version. And I need to find, if you read through all of this, where is it? It's under here underneath the support bot. If I come up here, right, it'll tell you what you need to install. Now, where was that? I just went through a whole bunch of issues. Updates and news. Oh, it's up in updates and news. There it is. So in here, if you read through the updates and news, this is all beta stuff for beta the next patch. But up in here, there's 2 more. So if you are running on patch, what is it, 3.5? If you're running on 3.3, Project B3.3, you also need to come in here for these files as well. Gear Owens patch and the Clever Girl RAR. All right, so you get those in there. But this is where you're going to come in here. You'll go in here to known issues, look to see if you have one of those issues. If you do, then don't post anything. If you don't, you can go into support bot. You click the little envelope thing. It'll give you a ticket. You can work go through your work. Just a piece of advice. If you haven't gone through all of the stages here, these folks are swamped and buried, and they can be a little prickly at times. So put on your thick skin before you come into this Discord to ask for help. All right, so the setup is done. I can click finish. So I've applied the community asset bundle. In the future, once they go for further patches, you won't have to worry about anything else. But in this case, I might have to take this and go into the BattleTech. If you find here, I can do a search on gear. There's the Gear Owens. I'm going to open up the location. And I can copy this file down in the JSON file right on in here and overlap what's here. This will patch the one that's in there. And then as far as the Clever Girl Roar goes, just take that, extract it, and drop it into your file that we just went through, which is down here in Steam. It's one of the reasons why you have to know Steam, Steam Apps, Common, BattleTech, and you're going to just click on Mods, and then you're going to click OK, and that's going to download it into there. I'm not going to do that part because I've already done it. Well, actually, I'll go ahead and do it again. Done, right? So I've got that unpacked, and I have copied this down here and replaced the file. Okay, so now I'm fully patched up on RogueTech in the current version. I've gone through all of my pain to get there. All right, so next, I'm going to do the mirror in a mirror thing. There we go, because I'm going to start up RogueTech next. And to do that, I need to swap over to the other screen. Add source, screen capture, monitor, desktop 1. Thank you. Desktop 2, remove. 2, remove. Thank you. And make it big. BattleTech. Fire that sucker up. Now, you might get stuck in the ModTech loading screen for a while. In your very first time ever doing this can take a long time. And I do mean like 15, 20 minutes to get it all set up. It's just a one-time deal. So if you feel like the whole thing is hung, walk away, go get a cup of coffee, come back 10, 15, 20 minutes later. I know it's a long time, but it's the first time you're going to be doing this, one-time investment. It's worth the time. Once this is started, you should come up with the next screen, and it should give you no messages. You shouldn't have any kind of error messages loading something. If you get a load error message like this mod didn't load, you've probably messed up your install, and that's not uncommon. One of the reasons why I think the guys over in the Discord get frustrated all the time is because if somebody doesn't get the order right, it doesn't quite start up correctly, and basically they're just dealing with a user error rather than a bug in the program. And they would prefer to work on bugs within the program rather than educating users on how to install this stuff. So once we get into this, we're going to find a few things that are going to be kind of interesting about this environment. We're going to find out, and I'm just clicking real quick here because I got to find my timer. Come back here. Thank you. I'm just keeping track of how long I'm recording for. There we go. And we're going to see a few things around here. One of these things is, of course, we're going to log in. I'm going to cut this stuff out. I don't want you to see me. And we're back in. All right, so you'll get this, and you'll know most of the stuff went in correctly when you don't have errors, and you see RogueTech over BattleTech. You can go ahead and start your career from here. You can see I've got Flashpoint and Urban Warfare installed. Another thing to do is before you go in here, go into Video, and then go into Advanced, go all the way down, and disable the VSave, the VSync. Okay, that will help some of your performance. There's some other things you can do for performance, and if you need to, you can look that stuff up. I'm not going to get into it at the moment. But for example, if I go in here, you can see if I do load, there's the career that I was just testing my stuff out on. We will actually load that up rather than go through my start, so I can show you a few things. I will show you the start in the next episode. We'll actually officially start a game. If you're leaving scorch marks, you need a bigger gun. They've added a whole bunch of more screen tips along this stuff, which is actually quite fun. But definitely read those because they are helpful. There's a lot of mechanics that if you're not aware of in RogueTech, you could end up dead and not know why. One of those mechanics is exploding ammunition. If you overheat your mech, you could cook off your ammo, and if you cook off your ammo, it will explode and do as much damage as all of those rockets hitting you in that spot. So if you have 100 SRMs in a case there and you blow that thing up, it's going to do 1,000 points of damage to that location. And guess what? You won't survive. So be very careful about overheats and about how you're managing your ammunition. All right, let's wait till this thing loads up. Okay, now we're in. And this is my setup at the moment. We're just going to look into the mech bay. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of things. We'll talk about barracks and skill sets later. But there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm not going to spend in my first mission just talking about. But the first thing you're going to notice is a lot of color. There's a lot of color in this stuff. Let's pick this mech over here. He's not too special. He's just kind of tough. Whoopee! Talk about information overload. You'll see a lot of things like, for example, they have sorts over here where you can go through and just look at lasers. I just want to see PPCs. I just want to see flamers. You can see the different kinds of ammos and different kind of engines with like heat kits. And I forget what that one is. But you also have engines. So if you look down here, for example, you can see there's an engine thing. This engine comes out. Did I just blow your mind? This engine determines how this particular mech is going to function. I can upgrade the engine. I can go from a 150 to a 160, a 170, a 180. And as I increment that, my movement will increment. I will go faster and faster. In addition to that, I have what you see here is a -4 heat sinks. What that says is there's 4 heat sinks in this engine core. There's already 4, or actually you can kind of see it if I can't get up there. If you look into the description here, you'll see weight, engine 5.5, 2 gyros, sinks -4. External heat sinks required, 4. These heat sinks are weightless. So I need to install 4 heat sinks into this mech, and I've got double heat sinks here, so these are 4 double heat sinks, because this has got a double heat sink. Yep, it has a double heat sink kit right there. See that? So cooling would be normal, but I put in a double heat sink kit. Now the double heat sinks can be mounted. You need the right kind of kit for the kind of things you're installing. So in this particular case, these 4 heat sinks are free, and this all generates my heat efficiency currently, which is I sink 60 and I alpha strike at 66. Pretty good thing. You also have armor and structure. So here's an endosteel structure. See this thing right here? If I put this in here, what it's saying is I'm going to be putting in a more lightweight framework into my mech. It is as effective, in this particular case, as effective as having regular structure, except it's a bit more expensive, so it's going to cost me more to repair, and it's going to keep me, it's going to take up some slots as well, because it's reinforcing areas through engineering rather than just putting in solid stuff. You can also do the same thing for armor. You can put in more, you can put in some augmented armor as well. You'll also see over here I have this engine XL. If I throw this engine XL into this thing right here over in the engine side, boop, right there, notice my weight just went down. This is an extra light engine. Half my weight takes up 6 more slots in my frame. So you can start seeing I'm allocating a lot of slots to stuff. It's a lot more slots than we're used to in BattleTech, but they get consumed fairly quickly. One of the problems with this, though, is if it gets hit, you start having problems, right? So an XL engine is awful nice if you've got the slots for it. There's a few other things to look at here. So we talked about the engine. This is the engine heat sinking. So I can put in some kind of cooling system in here if I pick it up. That will increase my heat sinking. You can also see there's a gyro. This is the standard gyro. I might get beneficial gyros. You've seen some of those in BattleTech. I can put those in. You can also see that now we have actual slots for all the things on the mechs. For example, shoulder, upper arm, lower arm, hand. These can also be replaced by upgraded components. Sometimes these components will give me bonus to melee damage, but reduce my ability to shoot. Or might give me an aiming bonus, but reduce my melee damage. So there's going to be some trade-offs and stuff. Not always. Sometimes you get a bonus. So that's some of the things to look at. You can also see the head has a lot more space as well. I have some life support. One of the things to note is if I take, do I have any equipment or anything? Yeah, this flamer thing here. If I take it and drop it in over here somewhere, it's not going to let me do it. I have to put it up here. There's the flamer. See, I just dropped it in, and it's supposed to add a ton, but it doesn't because there's already a ton in there for what I have for the standard. See, that's a ton. So I can just swap this out for no cost. But if I put something in over here, I'm going to take this double heat sink, drop it in there. You'll notice that these endosteel get reallocated. They will push off to wherever they need to go to avoid things. And if you want to, you can kind of push stuff around. Let's see if I can get this all off this one side. Nope, it'll go back. But they will auto-allocate to whatever's empty. It doesn't matter where. So don't worry about the fact that you see an endosteel in the head. If you needed to put a laser up there, you can. Okay? So that's a few things to note. As we go through this, you will see that there are going to be various capabilities that we are going to get. There is a whole variety of missile types, missile ammo types, ballistic ammo types, laser types. This is an extended range medium laser. It shoots farther than a regular medium laser. It's got like, I think, large laser range, but it creates more heat. Same damage, more heat. Small pulse lasers. Pulse lasers, unlike BattleTech, do multiple shots. So this is going to do 15 points of damage, but it's going to do it in 3 shots. So you get 3 different rolls to hit. So these are some things to look out for as we go ahead and play. And you can also see there's going to be a lot of electronic warfare and stuff. So we've got like tags. This is a little laser tag that if I hit something with it, I get a lock on, and I can ignore evasion pips. I get bonus accuracy for shooting with the weapon. But if I paint something, I also get bonus accuracy to hit it. And that's for everybody in my lance. Some things give you bonus only for you. Some things give you bonus for you and your lance. There's also anti-missile systems that allow you to shoot down incoming missiles. Very complicated. There's going to be a ton of stuff for us to get into. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and confirm this. I'm going to show you one of the other biggest things. In the combat center, if you come in here, if you click on this, you might have to go back in and do it twice to see everything that's available to you. Again, keep in mind, this is the planet that I'm on. It's I think a half skull planet, and so they'll be arranged here. The engineering for the ship is going to have a lot more stuff. It seems small at the moment, but as I unlock things, it expands and starts adding more things to my list. So, for example, you may know out of BattleTech that there's some 6 different recreational things you can put in. I think there's more than that here. So, as we go, we will begin to see new things get added. And some of the capabilities, like, for example, over here, storage space is different. So in BattleTech, you can put as much stuff as you want into your system, into your environment. It don't care. Here, you do have to manage your storage. Not horribly. It's not like playing some RPGs where you got to manage your inventory space so aggressively. It does keep track of it. And in addition, you pay money for everything in storage. It's not as much as if it's sitting in your mech bay, but you may pay 10 grand for something in your mech bay and still have to pay 500 for it if it's in storage. Okay, so nothing's free in this game. In addition to that, when we took a look at the mech bay and we took a look at this stuff, if I have to fix my armor takes time to fix. If I want to allocate armor, so let's see, if I pick up my Valkyrie here, and I say, you know what, let's max out my armor. Notice it takes me 5 days to add all that extra armor and 8,000 credits or 8,000 units to fix that. Don't want to do that. You don't want to just go in there and start messing stuff around. So if you get in there and get all your armor stripped into combat, you're going to be spending 5-6 days to put armor back on it. Last thing I want to show you is in navigation. You remember the RogueTech map? Prepare yourself. This is the RogueTech map. Hello. So in here you have the normal space that we are all familiar with, but you'll also notice there's this little string going up in here. This is called clan space. And in clan space, it's kind of like an advanced form of BattleTech, where clan lasers are a little bit more damage, they're a little bit less weight, and they do a little bit less heat. So it's if you end up kitting out a full clan mech and you go in fighting something like an assault thing, you can chew him up with all of your extra stuff. So that's one of the things we're going to see is there's a lot more variability in your mech builds, and there's more purpose to the functions within your mechs rather than what was in BattleTech, which is fairly simple: recon, brawler, or missile. I think there's like about 4 or 5 roles you can have. Here you can have a few more than that. So anyway, that is going to be our tour of RogueTech. We're going to come back in. When I come back in next time, we are going to start a whole new campaign. I just wanted to get this thing going to see if I could play with it a little bit. Make sure it was working, and I did have some things to work out. But as you can see, I can go all sorts of places here. And there's a little bit more impact of what you see down here, like, for example, the research tech here. One of the other things is this is an online map. Let's talk about that real briefly. So if I go to this system here, there is actually somebody else here playing currently, actively. And the impact of their game can impact my game. In other words, if they come in here and they start to turn this thing over, like in here, if we look here, Comstar has 103% control, but if I look over here, it's got 106. Here, Draconis Combine controls it. You can actually flip systems from one group to another, so you can go on a global conquest if you want to. And you see where all the peoples are. The peoples are all over the place. All those little ticks there are peoples. There's some people. There should be some people out in clan space. Yeah, there's a couple of people out in clan space too. So it's kind of cool. So come back and join me on my next episode. We are going to fire up a whole new game of RogueTech, and we'll see where that goes. Take care. Bye-bye.
I'm creeping through the shadows in the corners of your mind. I go with the windows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whisper murder in the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a